getting started on YouTube. It should be live on YouTube at the moment. All right. So shalom, everyone. Welcome once again to Just a Word, another of our Shabbat teachings today. This teaching here today. This one is powerful. This one, Yada Yahuwah. This one, I don't even know what to say with this one. Or I only hope I am able to bring it out. This one is going to show us that is against almost every believer. Something that it is like, as I said in the introduction there, in the description, it is something that most do not realize is affecting us, is keeping us back. And it will be one of those things that may have us here thinking that we are okay, thinking that we're good, while we are not. We are waiting to hear, "Depart from me, ye workers of iniquity." It's called today the great sin of double-mindedness. Double-mindedness is something that is hardly spoken about in the scriptures in those words. But it's there in our understanding all over. It is one of the greatest things that keep us away from our salvation, and we almost never ever talk about it. You almost never ever hear anybody teach about it, almost never ever hear anybody talk about it. But it is a trait that we have. Oh boy. Get this back. Yes. It is a trait that we have that was developed with us in Babylon. We're going to see what double-minded means, and let's begin there because I don't want to go off too much off point. So, first of all, we have to establish, as I was giving the introduction, that a double-minded person cannot enter the kingdom. A double-minded person cannot enter the kingdom. James 1:6 says, "But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of Yahuwah. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways." Unstable in all his ways. And if he's unstable, an unstable person cannot get into the kingdom. Okay? If you go to the meaning of double-minded, I want you all to take in this teaching very, don't make a little anything miss you. Double-minded is actually being two-spirited. So it's like you think one way, then you think the other. Today you think this way, tomorrow you think that way. Yes? And double-minded, let me just show you an application. Almost the entire Christian religion is double-minded. Because, let me show you an example of double-mindedness. On Sabbath, if they are Sabbath keepers, they are holy. On Sunday, they are holy. Then as soon as they leave the church or the next day, they are gone back to living the way of the world. That is double-mindedness. The Most High does not want us to be two-spirited. He wants us to be straight focused. Last week we looked on sin, and we looked at the meaning of sin as missing the mark. So if you are going all over the place, how can you hit the mark? So likewise, for example, I was just giving the example of the Sunday and the Sabbath that is being kept. If you are only holy when it's time to go to church, how can you walk sinless? It is impossible. Yes? So it is two-spirited, that is vacillating in opinion or purpose. So your opinion changes, your purpose changes. Yeah? Double-minded. So as believers, We have to be fixed in purpose, single-minded. If we are double-minded, there is into the kingdom. Now, to be single-minded, it is actually being self-sacrificial, because this world has nurtured us to be what? To be double-minded. The world has brought us up to know that, okay, when you're doing this, it's time for this. And, you know, when I was in the world, and Christians used to speak to me, one of my favorite things that I used to use with them from the Bible is, for everything there's a time and purpose. So when I come with that thing, I say, okay, it's not the time for that now. So I used to abuse that and use it wrongfully. Yes? So the world has taught us like that. That okay, when it's time for school, you forget everything about Yahuwah. Or when it's time for work, you forget everything about Yahuwah. Then on your own time, you can deal with Yahuwah. Where the Most High is concerned, is 100% His time. So even though you're at work, you must not diminish anything from Him. I'm just using that as an example. But Babylon has taught us up differently. Now, the reason double-mindedness is not in Scripture a lot, it is because it is a result of one of the major words that impact our belief. And that word is faith. Double-mindedness is actually a lack caused by a lack of faith. When you are lacking faith, you will be wavering. When you are strong in faith, you are going to believe something, and nothing can get you off that belief. Nothing can get you away from that belief. Nothing can let you stop believing what you are believing in that. So a lot of people say they believe in the Messiah, but they actually don't. Yes, belief does not mean you believe in your mind. Belief has to be manifested in our behavior, in our deeds. Works, some call it. And the works doesn't mean that you're actually working. The works means that what you believe is manifested in your actions. So when you believe in Hamashiach, when you trust in Yahuwah, then you will be firmly fixed on Him, and nothing can sway you from the path. Remember, we are followers of the way. John 14:6 says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Hamashiach is the way. So to follow the way, to follow Hamashiach, we have to be firm and fixed. We cannot be double-minded. We cannot be vacillating. We cannot be changing our minds, switching our minds at any time. So Hebrews 11:6 says, but without faith it is impossible to please Him. For he that cometh to Allah must believe that He is, and that He is a rewarder of them that diligently seek Him. So double-mindedness is that belief, that firm belief, that whatever the Most High says, that's how it is. Because here is the thing. We say we are followers. The Most High makes certain promises. But when we come upon certain situations, push them aside and we start worrying. And not only worrying, it manifests in our behavior. We start doing things that we are not supposed to do. That's double-mindedness. If you are single-minded, your faith is going to let you stay steadfast, believing in that thing. No matter how it looks impossible, no matter how it looks improbable, you continue to believe to the very end. To the very end. That is faith. What if you believe and it does not come through? If you believe and it does not come through, then you know that it is not the Most High's will for you. Simple. So, nevertheless, Father, not my will, but thy will be done. And that's it. But you still continue to believe until the very end. So, faith and double-mindedness go hand in hand. If you have faith, you will be single-minded. If you don't have faith, your mind will be going all over the place. It's a very important understanding teaching today. Almost all of us are double-minded in everything that we do in the life that we live, and it cannot work. So, because faith is important, we know that we are righteous through faith. And we know that faith leads us to holiness. So in order to not be double-minded, we have to be the most extreme of righteousness. We have to be holy. We have to be holy. I think that was what we looked at last week and probably the week before. We have to be holy. To inherit the promises, we must be holy. 1 Peter 1:14, as obedient children, not fashioning yourselves according to the former lusts in your ignorance, but as he which hath called you is holy, so be ye holy, or kadosh, in all manner of conversation, because it is written, be ye holy, for I am holy. So we must be kadosh, because he is kadosh. So not fashioning yourselves according to the former lusts in your ignorance. So when we were in the world, that was when we were double-minded. But that should be a thing of the past. That should be the former lust, not the present ones. So presently, we should be single-minded. We should be holy. And the meaning of holy, let's give it again like last week. It means, from the BDB lexicon, sacred, holy, holy one, saint, set apart. This set apart is the one we want to look at. Set apart. Now, set apart refers to the people who the Most High rips away, severs from other people. Set apart. So when someone is holy, that person has to be separated unto Yahuwah. And when we say separated, it means physically separated from a whole lot of things and a whole lot of people, and also spiritually separated. Your life, when you are set apart, your life will be lonelier than that of most people. Your life will be different from most people. The problem with double-mindedness is that we want to be believers in the Most High, serving the Most High, and not setting ourselves apart. Refusing to set ourselves apart. So when the challenges come, double-mindedness sets in. Why? Because when we are brought to a place where we are uncomfortable, then another spirit comes upon us and we go against the way that we are being brought. Because the Most High tells us that gold is tried in the fire and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So we have to be tried. We have to be tried. But most of us don't want to, so we are double-minded. We refuse to be set apart. We refuse to be different. When things come upon us to separate ourselves from the world, then we start being double-minded. Yeah? So, being set apart means we must be severed from other people. We must be ripped away from other people. Leviticus 20, verse 25. Ye shall therefore put difference between clean beasts and unclean, and between fowls and clean, And ye shall not make your souls abominable by beast, or by fowl, or by manner of living thing that creepeth on the ground, which I have separated from you as unclean. Now, this verse here, remember, we have to be set apart, right? This is a verse that destroys any form of righteousness that might be coming from Christianity. Christianity believes in eating anything that is abominable, most of them. Anything that is abominable, yes, they will eat it. Here the Most High is telling you that the set apart people, his set apart people, will not make themselves unclean with any abominable thing. And verse 26 goes on to tell us, and ye shall be holy unto me, for I, Yahuwah, am holy, and have severed you. That word severed, we're going to look at it. And have severed you from other people, that ye should be mine. So, if we are eating abominable things, this is just an example, one single example. If we are eating abominable things, then we are not severed from other people. We are just like everybody else. What is the difference between us and the other nations if we are doing this abomination? This thing that the Most High calls abomination. In verse 25, he says, ye shall not make your souls abominable by beast, or by fowl, or by any manner of living thing that creepeth on the ground, which I have separated from you as unclean. So everything here in Leviticus 11, where it tells us it's unclean, he calls it abominable. But what do? We eat the shellfish, the rat, the mouse, the what else? The pork, the swine, all sorts of abominable octopus, lobster, crabs. We eat all sorts of abominable things. But here it is telling us, yes? So we cannot be double-minded even when it comes to food. With everything else, we have to obey the word you from other people. What does the word severed mean? And this is why it's important to know who the Bible is written to know that it's written to a nation. And so the nation must be kadosh, must be holy before him. It's not written to a religion. When they made it in a religion, they made it into a free-for-all. Here's what the religion did. The religion now carved out a different set of things for that religion to do. A different set of things that that religion deems as being acceptable to the Most High. Yeah. So, in the Bible, it tells the children of Israel, you mustn't eat swine. Their religion says, hey, eat anything, but not what goes in the mouth defiles you. Yes? And so they eat all sorts of abominations. And when you come into the religion, that's why religion is dangerous. That's why we follow the way. So no man can come and lead me to do that which is wrong. I will have to do that which is wrong of my own, in which I now will have to bear the burden of that. So no man can come and tell me to do certain things. Okay? That's why religion is dangerous. So their religion says it's okay to do it. And so they do it. The abomination. So let's see what it means to sever you from other people. H914. Let me go there. H914. Severed you, H914. H914 is the word badal. It means to divide, separate. To divide, separate, sever. To separate, set apart. There's the word set apart again. To make a distinction. To make a difference. See? So there is a difference. That is where in the book of Genesis, when he said, Exodus, when he said, that to let you know that Yahuwah has put a difference between the children of Yashrael and the Egyptians. So he makes a difference. He separates us, yes, from other people. Now, there are some, in the King James Version, it says to divide, asunder, sever out, separation, separation, to be separated, to be excluded, to be set apart, to separate oneself unto, to withdraw from. So this is actually telling us about a Most High who is taking us aside, and he's giving us certain things to keep us clean and holy. And there are going to be another set of people where we are coming from who are unclean and polluted and sinful. That's the separation. So when he puts us over here, no, this side, yeah. When he puts us over here, if we are double-minded, we are going to go back over here into pollution. That's the danger of double-mindedness. Double-mindedness keeps us and pulls us back into sin. That is why so many of us have become believers. And I know many people have been baptized. Many people I know have been baptized and they go back. Why? When they come, they say, boy, this is hard. This is a hard journey. Boy, this is tough. Yes? Even here where we are in South Africa, we have baptized quite a few people who we have baptized. They have gone back. And you know what they report and say? Man, this is hard. From I start to serve Yahuwah, things just start to get bad. Things just start to go wrong. I'm struggling, I'm this, I'm that. Because when you come to serve Yahuwah, in the book of Ecclesiastes, that's how we know we are serving the Most High. If you come to serve Yahuwah and your life continues the same, with no problems and nothing changed, something is wrong. Because when you come to serve Yahuwah, it says in the book of Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, let me get it on the screen, please. I forgot to put it up. Let me get it on the screen. Sorry about that. Can I get it on the screen? Doesn't seem so. No, I can't get it on the screen. But I'll just say it anyway. The book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 1 says, My son, if thou come to serve Yahuwah, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. This is it. When you come to serve Yahuwah, it is trouble. So when these people here, they are used to Christianity. When you go in Christianity, it's all about materialism. It's about this. Christianity is of the devil. But when you come to serve Yahuwah and Yahuwah puts the trouble on you to perfect you, then the double-mindedness set in. You start thinking, boy, can I do this? I can't do this. This comes now to when Messiah said, count the cost before you come. Count the cost. And this is what we tell everybody. We have to tell everybody from now on. Before you come to serve Yahuwah, count the cost. What are you willing to give up? Are you willing to go through the worst? Because when you are willing to go through the worst, when problems come, you will be able to tolerate it. But if you have not made up your mind or thought about it, then when it comes, you will fold. Okay? So here is a thing now. In the end, when the Most High is doing his thing, when he's gathering his people, he severs the people, he rips them away from those who are there, rips them away from sinners, and then he gathers his people together. He gathers his people together. Now, we're going to look today at a grave error that we make in gathering together. If we look at the assembly in the book of Acts, I need a Bible. Where is the Bible? I got rid of the Bible. Let me see. Here's a Bible. Let me get it. Is it there? Yeah. So, where was I again? Oh yes. Let me get this. Acts number chapter 5. And by the hands of the apostles, no. What I'm going to highlight here, what I am highlighting is the error we make through religion. And this has been brought to us courtesy of the Christian religion. I myself in this assembly thing, we got, what should I say? We continued in the Christian way. And it has been lots of errors in gathering together. In gathering together, in Christianity, they say church is a place of the sick, is a hospital for the sick. They say whosoever will may come. All of that is not in the Bible, not biblical. When we come together as believers, it is the righteous, set apart ones who are to come together. The righteous, set apart ones. In the New Testament, believers believed and were baptized and were brought together. Then those others now who believed, they were baptized and then added to the assembly. Now, baptism is not our present day thinking of baptism. Let us go under the water and say, yeah, I'm baptized and then victory. Baptism is very, very spiritual and very, very deep. It is an undertaking to be single-minded, to give up everything else and now to be walking in righteousness and seeking righteousness. What we do today, we baptize, and then we continue living. We might make a few changes. We start reading the Bible. We do this. There is no giving up of the self. The double-mindedness remains. And because the double-mindedness remains, when we put you with your double-minded self with other believers, you're going to wreck the assembly of believers. Wreck them. Because wherever the Most High's people are, His Spirit has to prevail. Yes, wheat and tares will grow, and there will be the bad that may be added, but the good has to be so powerful that the good will either reprove or reject the bad. So if you come among an assembly of believers, and all the believers are on fire, when you come with your double-mindedness, everybody is going to highlight it to you, and you're going to feel so bad. And you're going to fall in line or you leave. That's how it's supposed to be. But what we do, and what we did, even when we said we were fleeing out of the midst of Babylon, the error was everybody just fled. And we're going to see the error behind that. What we really needed to do. Yes, people need to seek righteousness. Righteousness has to be there first. People have to be set apart before leaving. But what you have, a whole bunch of people, sinful people, Just come. Hey, they heard that they must flee. They want to flee. They hear the word and they listen to the word for a little while and everything. And yes, I want to flee and everything. But guess what? The heart is not changed. And of course, the Bible's heart is here. The heart is not changed. So this whole bunch of sinful persons coming together with their sinful hearts. And guess what? It is contagious. Because if you have too many sinful people, then those who are striving after pure righteousness will be overpowered. Because Satan will start to use the sinful people to destroy. Because that's how he works. So let's see how people are to come together. Church, Christian church, is a fallacy. Where is it? Where is it? Yes. Acts 5 verse 12. And by the hands of the apostles were many signs and wonders wrought among the people, and they were all with one accord in Solomon's porch. And of the rest, there's no man joined himself to them, but the people magnified them. So the apostles were there, doing all sorts of things among the people, but of the rest, who were in the assembly, no man joined himself to them, but the people magnified them. The people could only sit and admire those in the assembly. They could not go and join them. And believers were the more added to Yahuwah, both multitudes of men and women. How were they added? They could not join themselves to them. They were added when they believed and they repented and were immersed and were baptized. And so they were brought into the assembly. So it is an assembly, therefore, that concentrates on righteousness, on being set apart, on the set apart people, not on a collection of people from everywhere with every thinking. You see, we underestimate the power of the devil. We underestimate the power of sin. Yeah? So the set apart will be gathered together. No two ways about it. The set apart we cannot be set apart just being by ourselves. Here's a problem. When we're by ourselves, we are believers. You cannot be perfected by yourself. You cannot be perfected on your own. You will not be tried and tested and proven. You see, when you are by yourself and we put you with believers, that's when your deficiencies are going to show. When you are by yourself, no deficiency will show. No deficiency will show because there is nothing to show you up. But when you come among believers, you are going to be challenged, and then you're going to show up your selfishness, your pride, your every single thing is to be showed up in the congregation of believers. So when those things are showed up, then a righteous believer who is single-minded is going to look on those things, because when you're single-minded, you are focused on perfection of the self, and you will be willing and happy to hear where you are wrong so you can correct it. So when you go among people and you find out that you are deficient, then you will make changes. Okay? But if you remain by yourself alone, thinking you're perfected, hey, that's a joke. It is when we are with each other that we prove our own selves. Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired. Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the chaff, before the fierce anger of Yahuwah come upon you, before the day of Yahuwah's anger come upon you. Seek ye Yahuwah, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be that he may be hid in the day of Yahuwah's anger. So we have to be seeking righteousness and seeking Yahuwah's in meekness, seeking his righteousness, that we may be hid on the day of his anger. How do you do that? You gather together. gather yourselves together. So the set apart people, the people who you ripped away from other people, they will be gathered together as a people. So there is something in our ruach that you feel as if you want to gather with people. You want to fellowship with people. You want to find a group to fellowship with. That is something that the Ruach within us will lead us to do, because the Ruach will let you know that fellowship is essential to our growth and our development. Micah 4:6. In that day, saith Yahuwah, will I assemble her that halteth, and I will gather her that is driven out, and her that I have afflicted. Speaking about double-mindedness again, the Most High's people are going to be afflicted. And notice he said, her that I have afflicted. So he's the one who is afflicting us for our perfection. But the double-minded man does not like affliction. So the double-minded man will run away from affliction. Yes? Run away from affliction. I'll find all sorts of excuses. So many, assemblies. People are in assemblies and people run and they find all sorts of excuses. Oh, he's doing that and he's saying that and he's doing all sorts of excuses and run from one place to the other, having itching ears. Yes? But it's the Most High that is doing the affliction. And I will make her that halted a remnant, and her that was cast afar off a strong nation. So you see, those who are the remnant are those who are going through these unfortunate situations. The double-minded people will try to avoid these situations. The double-minded people will hide from anything that makes them miserable. Anything that makes them miserable makes them angry. And when they get angry, then they actually hide themselves from the development of the Most High. I will make her that halted a remnant, and her that was cast afar off a strong nation, and Yahuwah shall reign over them in Mount Zion from henceforth even forever. So for the Most High to reign over us, we have to be a people that have been pulverized in this world. Because to have Yahuwah rule over you in righteousness, in truth, to have Yahuwah rule over you, you have to have gone through a rough process. Because Yahuwah is the greatest drill sergeant there is. He is going to put you through some things to bring you to perfection. But we are going to be here thinking, oh, we don't need that. Oh, that is so. That is so. Not knowing that it is the Most High that is bringing us through this. So when we are set apart, we're going through stages. The first stage is that double-minded man cannot enter the kingdom. We need faith to overcome double-mindedness. Then we have the fact that we must be holy and we must be set apart from other people. And when we are set apart, we will be gathered together. Now, the next stage is when we are set apart and come together, we must be of the same mind. And it goes back again to assemblies in these end times. Assemblies in these end times. So many times you've heard of assemblies and all sorts of trouble in the assemblies. Why is there so much trouble? Too loud. Why is there so much trouble in these assemblies? Why? Because the people are not of the same mind. I can tell you from our experiences here. When people come in and are of different minds, it is kind of I wouldn't say entertaining. I'm not good with words. Intriguing. Yeah, that's the word. It's kind of intriguing. When people come, there is a spirit that goes and seeks out someone that is of a similar spirit. Someone who is of a similar spirit. And when it finds that person who is of that similar spirit, it latches on to that person. And both of them who are at where they're at Being deficient, not being where they are below par. They justify themselves where they are. They form a bond, and then guess what? Rebellion. All sorts of mischief comes from these little things. And so some people from they come, they latch on. They will latch on to someone. But here's the problem. We all have to be of one mind. So every single person, there should be no cliques when you are gathered together. Because it's a set apart who are gathered together. Those who the Most High ripped, and those who the Most High took away and made unique from other people. These are the people who he puts together. So when we are set apart and come together, we must be of the same mind. 2:46. And they continuing daily with one accord in the temple and breaking bread from house to house, did eat their meat with gladness and singleness of heart. Gladness and singleness of heart. This is the opposite of double-minded. Singleness of heart is when everyone together has the same mind, the same objectives, the same concerns, the same thinking, the same everything. In an assembly like this, you will not have cliques going and setting apart and gossiping and talking and planning and scheming. And when this person is disgruntled, the other person come and say, yes, encourages that person. No. When you have singleness of heart, everyone is together in one. If there's a problem, everyone comes and tries to solve the problem, talk about the problem. Singleness of heart. Praising Allah and having favor with all the people, and Yahuwah added to the assembly daily such as should be saved. This is how the assembly grows, because people will now see us having singleness of heart. People will see us being unified. And by being unified, that singleness of heart, other people will see it, and the Most High will see it, and the Most High will add it to our assembly. Because we have singleness of heart. Acts 4:32. And the multitude of them that believed were of one heart and of one soul. This is single-mindedness. Again, they were not double-minded. They were of one heart and of one soul. Neither said any of them that aught of the things which he possessed were all things common. So this now, we see I saw an assembly trying to achieve this all things common. And it turned out to be a disaster. And I was watching, because for me, when we come together, we will tell people that this is how it's supposed to be. But guess what? Not laying this to anybody's charge, because guess what? In the end, everybody say, hey, because I told me to do this and do that and do that. Everything has to be done out of your own mind. That you must give me this or give me that. I'm going to tell you, show the word, show you how it's supposed to be. It's left up to you. So that at the end, nobody can say that I sought to rob them or to defraud them or tell them or anything like that. Okay? This is how it's supposed to be. But it can only be achieved if we have the start of verse 32. The multitude of them that believed were of one heart and of one soul. If you are not of one heart and of one soul, you cannot have all things. Come on, it will not work. It will not work. You first have to be single-minded. The assembly has to be single-minded before this can work. Okay? So, as we were saying, we are going now to the books of the Nazarene, which tells us that we must have one standard of righteousness. We must be single-minded. The books of the Nazarene, chapter 7, verses 7 to 9. chapter 5, chapter 7, verse, I didn't put verses 7 to 9, that's page 70. While eating, Yahusha said, "No man of himself can know right from wrong. For what is right in one man's eyes may be wrong in another's. Therefore, strife arises among them." You see that? This is why when people come together, they have to have one mind, one heart, one soul. So, you cannot have this person believing this person believing that. And that's why I always told people that when we come together, I said, if you do not believe in anything that I am teaching, bring the Bible, whatever come, and let us lay it down. Probably you will be teaching me something. But a lot of the times, it is because there is some misunderstanding on your part. But still yet, there is a chance that you might be showing me something. So let's get the Bible. So we have to be in one accord. But what you have when you have double-minded people, double-mindedness is when you have a different belief, say from the person who is teaching or the leader, and then you keep it to yourself and you go behind and you show somebody else and you say, look at this. You know that what he said is this and that. What he says is this and wrong, and it's not wrong, and it is not right, and look at this. This is what it should be, or whatever. And then you keep it to yourself. Nothing good can come from that. Anyway, only when men accept a single standard of judgment and abide by it can there be peace. When men live together with the light of the Torah, they are like a house built with unmortared bricks, or like men trying to tow a boat but all pulling in different directions. So the Torah is there, but it needs a light to shine on it to show us and let us understand it. There are two laws, the law of men and the Torah of the Father who is in heaven. When I speak of the Torah, I do not mean the law of men. I am the light illuminating Yahuwah's Torah, so men see it more clearly. I am the light illuminating Yahuwah's Torah, so men see it more clearly. So for those people who thought that he came to destroy the law, or the law is done away with, that is a lie. And though I fulfill the Torah, I do not change it. I do not change it. What he did, he shines a light on it. Never say this is right or that is wrong, but only this is right or wrong according to the Torah and in the light of Yahusha. According to the Torah and in the light of Yahusha. So, there must be one standard of righteousness, all pulling in the same way. Now, I'm going to explain something here. You have to listen very carefully. I don't know if anyone has ever told you this before. You know, sometimes I get revelations. I can't think that I am the only person who got it. But I know that it is different from what I have ever heard before. In the book of Revelations, listen to me very carefully. Everyone, stop whatever you're doing. In the book of Revelations, the Most High told us to come out of her, my people. Come out of her, my people. Now we take that to mean that, hey, the children of Israel is telling you to come out of Babylon. Revelation 18:4. And I heard another voice from Shamayim saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. That's the verse we're talking about. So we were thinking that it's speaking about Israelites or, believers. But to come out of her, look at that in yellow, you must be walking in the righteousness that are written in the previous books of the Bible. What am I saying? The book of Revelations is a book of judgment. You don't see the book of Revelation instructing you in righteousness. The book of Revelation is judgment for doing wrong, telling you the judgments for doing wrong and the judgments for doing right. So when it says, come out of her, my people, the my people it's speaking about are those who have heeded to the words that were in the previous books in the Bible that were instructing you to walk in righteousness. So the importance of this is that we must come out. Those people who are coming out of her must come out in righteousness. I hope you understood what I just said. The book of Revelations is a book of judgment. Let me see if I can. It's a book of judgment that tells you the judgment for doing wrong and the judgment for doing right. It is not instructing you on what to do. You have already been instructed in the previous books. Now, when it says, come out of her, my people, the my people are the people who have been found righteous from the previous books. So when it says, come out of her, it is not instructing unrighteous people to come out of her. That was a mistake. And that's a mistake a lot of people have. You see, you're having a whole lot of assemblies. All over, people are saying, flee Babylon and all of that. You see, when you get a bunch of people who are not actually his people, because they have not walked in the righteousness that is in the previous, in the Bible. When you have those people coming together, it's going to be disaster. So I cringe for people, and it has been my experience as well. It's very, very difficult. If people are not walking in the righteousness of the books before the book of Revelation, because you're going to have problems on top of problems. It's essentially going to be sinful people that are bringing their sin in. And yes, the heart is good, and it is good that you have that heart. But Satan uses people who do not believe. He uses them at his own will. Let me get there. We have to show this, so probably you can understand what I am saying. Where is it? I'm trying to find the Bible. Yeah. 2 Corinthians 4, verses 3 and 4. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not. And remember, we are saying believe. It's not in your just to hear. It is actually to change, to be transformed. Hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the splendid good news of Hamashiach, who is the image of Allah, should shine unto them. So the God of this world, Satan, is able to blind their minds. So when you come together, not walking in the righteousness of the Torah, true righteousness of the Torah, and you come together, Satan is able to use you. 2 Timothy 2, starting at verse 24. And the servant of Yahuwah must not strive, but be gentle unto all men, apt to teach, patient, in meekness, instructing those that oppose themselves, if Allah peradventure will give them repentance to the acknowledging of the truth, and that they may recover themselves out of the snare of the devil, are taken captive by him at his will. When you have a bunch of believers, if you have rebellious ones in there, if you have troublemakers, if you have people who give trouble, Satan is going to keep them captive and use them at his will. So when you hear, come out of her, my people, and you have unrighteous people coming out of her, being mixed with people who are seeking righteousness, it is going to be hell. It's going to be trouble. Okay? So, come out of her, my people. It's not simple. We must come out of her in righteousness. And let's see it. It's in the scriptures here. We must come out of her in righteousness. Ezekiel chapter 6, verse 21. We must seek the Most High in the land of our captivity, not after we leave. Now, I'm telling people this because the Most High instructed us to flee Babylon. I expect trouble to intensify on this earth as these people set up their new world order with their diseases, and they're actually coming with the number of the beast, which is the global ID, global digital ID, which is going to be paired with the mark of the beast, and that no one will be able to buy and sell without that number, because the banking system is going to change. It's going to be, chaos is going to come. Now, the time that you have in Babylon, in this world, is to perfect yourselves, so that when you flee Babylon, this is a righteous person fleeing. Not an unrighteous person fleeing and coming among people who are righteous or might be seeking righteousness is going to be disaster. The Most High has given me experience over the past 3 years or so of gathering together. And I'm speaking from experience. Yes? You have to be in some level of righteousness. Yes, we might not be perfect as yet and everything, but it's supposed to be at a certain level of righteousness. Here, when you come together and the faults are there, everything, and your action and your striving and your whole zeal is towards perfection and everything, then that is good. We have to seek righteousness before we leave. Ezra chapter 6:21, that tells us about the people who left from the Assyrians, Cyrus, the Medo-Persians, to go back into so as to get back into the land. And the children of Yashral, which were come again out of captivity, that is us at this time. This is referring now to us because we are coming out of captivity. As much as you might not see yourself captive and in chains and everything, it is captivity, it's Babylonian captivity. And it is evidenced by the fact that you are, your mind is so shackled. The scriptures are trying to rip you away from Babylon, and it's hard to rip you. You are captive. Because the system itself that they gave us, and when I say I'm including myself. All of us have been given this thing. Don't think I'm excluding myself and putting you down. Yes, but I'm speaking to you, so I say you're. So, Babylon has shackled us and chained us to it. So our minds are there in it. We are captive to it. So those who are coming out of the captivity, and all such as had separated themselves unto them from the filthiness of the heathen of the land. We just spoke about set apart, and we spoke about the food and the abomination and how it made you filthy. Those who had separated themselves from the heathen of the land to seek Yahuwah Alua of Yasharal. So before you leave, you have to rip yourself away from the abominations of Babylon. You have to mind, your mind has to be changed, and you have to be seeking Yahuwah with all your heart in the land of captivity. And we're going to look more at this. And kept the feast of unleavened bread 7 days with joy, For Yahuwah had made them joyful, and turned the heart of the king of Assyria unto them, to strengthen their hands in the work of the house of Alua, the Alua of Yasharal. And this is how you know that the Most High is with you. When you have joy, when you can keep the feast with joy. You have to separate yourself from the filthiness of the people of the land. You have to be changed before you come out the land. Deuteronomy 4:27. And Yahuwah shall scatter you among all nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither Yahuwah shall lead you, and there ye shall serve you shall serve gods, the work of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see nor hear, nor eat, nor smell. Now listen to this carefully, to listen to the point that I'm making. But if from thence, where is thence? Where is there? In of your captivity. If from thence you shall seek Yahuwah thy Alua, thou shalt find him where? In the land of your captivity. This is how you are his people. You search and seek him in the land of your captivity, walking in his righteousness. Then you can come out of Babylon. You don't come out of Babylon. You don't come out of Babylon simply because you hear flee out of Babylon. I want you all to listen to this carefully. You don't come out of Babylon simply because you hear flee. There is a righteousness that is required to be his people. I'm going to show you what it is his people. You think we're going to go down and show you more and more that to be his people, you first have to have changed. You first have to be in righteousness. Yes? Everybody say, oh, I want to flee Babylon. I want to flee. It's not so simple. So in Deuteronomy 4 here, it's telling you, but if from thence you shall seek Yahuwah thy Alua, thou shalt find him if you seek him with all thy heart and with all thy soul. So it is a seeking Yahuwah with all our heart and soul that we should find him. So right now, wherever you are, United States, Jamaica, wherever, Bahamas, Barbados, Trinidad, Guyana, El Salvador, Honduras, Belize, wherever, United Kingdom, France, wherever our people are, you are to seek him with all your hearts before you think about fleeing out of the midst of Babylon. All right? Again, these are insights that we have gotten over time. We have learned over time. We did not know this from the beginning. So, what keeps us from moving forward? We're going back to the topic now. What keeps us? Did I want to see if there were certain wanted to look at. Let me see if I missed out something here. I gotta look to see if I missed out something. What keeps us from moving forward? Oh yes, I missed out some things. Yes. Jeremiah 24:7. Let's go back. Good thing I checked. We gotta go now to the Bible. All right. So we're speaking about my people. My people. We just said we have to come out in righteousness. And we said earlier that Revelation 18:4 was about my people. Let's go to Jeremiah 24, verse 7. Jeremiah 24, verse 7. And I will give them an heart to know me, that I am Yahuwah, and they shall be my people, and I will be their Alua, for they shall return unto me with their whole heart. I want you to look at this verse carefully. It's telling us that he will give us a heart to know him. And when we actually get to know him, that is when we shall be his people. In the previous verse, what did it say? In Deuteronomy 4:29. It says, they shall seek me in the land of their captivity. and they shall find me when they shall search for me with their whole heart. So this is matched up with 24/7. So we have to return to him with our whole hearts to be his people. It's not because we are Israelites, we are his people. Remember, he had cast off the Israelites. Let's go to Hosea 1. He cast off the Israelites. They were Israelites. But he said, you will not be my people. Hosea 1 and verse 8. Now when she had weaned Lohuama, she conceived and bare a son. Then said Alua, call his name Loami, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your Alua. Yet the number of the children of Yasharal shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living Alua. Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Yasharal be gathered together, and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel. So it is when we are his people, that is when we come out of her. It is not every Israelite, because you're an Israelite. It is the Israelite that have turned to him with their whole heart and sought him in the land of their captivity with all their hearts and have found him. These are the ones who are his people. Not because you are an Israelite. Let's go again to Ezekiel 11 verses 19 to 20. I want us to get this very carefully, because not many people I know, or probably people know, and I am just the one, and you're laughing at me now. Ha 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 ha. Everybody knew that before. Ezekiel 11:19. And I will give them one heart, and I will put a new ruach within you, and I will take the stony heart out of their flesh, and I will give them an heart of flesh, that they may walk in my statutes and keep my judgment ordinances and do them. Here's the colon here. And they shall be my people, and I will be their Alua. You see how many things I have to go through before you be his people? Let me repeat. And I will give them one heart, and I will put a new ruach within you, and I will take away the stony heart out of their flesh and give them an heart of flesh. That means those who are coming out of Babylon will not be stiff-necked, will not be hard-hearted. When they come together with people, it will not cause all sorts of ruckus and all sorts of abominations and all sorts of quarrels and strife and arguments and all of that. No, that's a mistake that we made. It's people who have found Yahuwah and have been transformed. Yes? So after all this in verse 19, then verse 20 tells us that they may be walking my statutes and keep my ordinances them. So these people are walking in obedience to the Most High. And they shall be my people, and I will be their Alua. After all of that, after all of this, that is why you're qualified to be his people. So in Revelation 18:4, when it says, come out of her, my people, it is people who are perfected. But double-mindedness is what stands in the way. For people to be doing all of these, they have to be single-minded. You cannot be his people minded. We're going to go more in double-mindedness. You need to stay through this teaching. Yes? There's a good at the very end, but you need to stay and get the understanding throughout, because it is something that most people do not understand or pay attention to. Baruch chapter 2 verse 30. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. That's how we are naturally. The children of Yasharal, we are naturally stiff naked people. So the Most High said, I know they won't hear me, but in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. So he knew us, and he knows us by heart. He knows that when I send them into captivity, that is when they're going to remember themselves. And shall know that I am Yahuwah, their Alua. For I will give them an heart and ears to hear. Here we go again. The same chain. It's the Most High giving us a heart and an ear. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name. And return from their stiff neck. So no stiff-necked people should be coming out of Babylon. So in the land of their captivity, they shall, let me see what they shall do. Number one, they shall remember themselves. All of this before we become his people, mind you. All of this before we shall remember themselves. Number two, they shall know that he is Yahuwah their Alua. Yeah? And that's what we have woke up. We know Yahuwah is the Alua of Yasharal, our people and none else. For I will give them an heart and ears to hear. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity. All of that. And think upon my name. And return from their stiff neck. And we're not done. And from their wicked deeds. And we're not done. For they shall remember the way of their fathers which sinned before Yahuwah. This is why it's important to pay attention to the sins of our fathers. This is why we teach and we tell people about the sins of the fathers, which most people don't ever think or teach about. Yes? I'm telling you, you see those 300 odd videos that we have done here? People don't need to look elsewhere. Everything you need for perfection in salvation is on our channel. You don't need anything else. The things that people ignore and don't talk about, the Most High speaks through our channel to you. But people have itching ears all over the place, all over. They come here and they're gone. They go next place, they go all over the place. Picking here and picking there. Anyway, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon their name. And return, about 34. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers. So before, because we believe that we are in the land where we promised our fathers. And we have videos that show how he revealed to us where we are on the land. So all of this, before you go into the land, all of this should have been undertaken. All of this must have been done before he brings us into the land. But most people are fleeing, ignore all of this and focus on fleeing out of the land. But the Most High is no fool. The Most High knows our hearts and knows the qualification. So many people have fled, and it has been less than a comfortable experience. Yes? So you will flee, but if your heart and your everything is not right, then it will come to naught. That is why he said in the book of Ezekiel 20. In the book of Ezekiel 20. As I live, saith Yahuwah Alua, verse 33, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with few report out will I rule over you. And I will bring you out from the people and will gather you out of the countries wherein you are scattered with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with few report out. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face. So when you come out, it's not a pleasant experience. So if you are first, before you come out of Babylon, if you have reached to the point where you're no longer stiff-necked and all of that, when he pleads with us face to face, then we will be able to pass. Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Mitzrayim, so will I plead with you, saith Yahuwah. And I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant. And I will, this is the verse that I want, and I will purge out from among you the rebels, and them that transgress against me. I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Yasharal, and he shall know that I am Yahuwah. Now fast forward back to Baruch 33. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be masters of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. Okay? So, if we are found having gone through all of these, then when we come in to the land, then we will be masters of the land. We still have not reached the point where he declared us to be his people yet. Verse 35, and I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their Alua, and they shall be my people. And I will no more drive my people of Yashral out of the land that I have given them. So, for us to be his people, we first have to go through all of this before we can be his people. Before, when he says, come out of her, my people, before that pertains unto us. Okay? So, what keeps us from moving forward? It is double-mindedness. When we are in Babylon, Babylon teaches us lust, desires, greed, selfishness, every envy, grudgefulness, jealousy, hatred, anger, all sorts of sins you can think about. Babylon teaches them to us. Now, when Babylon teaches us those things, and we meet upon challenges, that is why we say you have to be in some form of righteousness before leaving Babylon. Before leaving Babylon. And if you are not in that righteousness, you're going to be double-minded. James 4:7, submit yourself therefore to Alua. Resist the devil and he will flee from thee. Draw nigh to Alua and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. So when you're double-minded, your hearts cannot be pure. Your hearts will not be pure. So you cannot be double-minded coming out of Babylon. And this is what you will find. A lot of people are coming out of Babylon are double-minded. Many people will flee for fear. They're afraid of what is coming on this earth. That should not be. You should be fleeing in order to seek the kingdom. It is the kingdom that you should seek, and you should despise Babylon. You should despise the wickedness of this world, or how this world is run, and the evil of this world. If you don't despise it, you are going to still love it. And this is only the cure, double-mindedness. Before you come out of this world, of Babylon, before you think of fleeing Babylon, 1 John 2:15, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. So here is double-mindedness. If you love the world at all, the love of the Father will not be in you, and you will be double-minded. Your mind will be vacillating from one place to the other. You will not be able to be firmly fixed on the way of Yahuwah. You will not be able to be firmly fixed on seeking Yahuwah. You will not be able to be firmly fixed to go through sufferings, through punishment, through persecutions, through afflictions, through all sorts of fire. You will not be willing to go through that because the double-minded side of you is going to check everything and try to avoid and escape going through things that are needed to perfect you. For all that is in the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passeth away and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of Yahuwah abideth forever. Double-mindedness is going to keep us glued and grounded to this Babylonian world, to this Babylonian system. So we're going to look at double-mindedness. Yes, when I'm speaking now about it, you may not be able to see it until we go forward. Let's look at the double-mindedness of Lot's wife. All right, so the Zoom has cut off. I only hope that we are still on YouTube. I don't know if I should proceed if we are on YouTube or not. I think we are still on. Gonna see how if the Zoom will get back online. I can't understand this Zoom thing though. So easily it trips off. Because I see here. Let me continue. Okay, here it is. Unmute. Alright, sorry about that. Let's look at the double-mindedness of Lot's wife. Only hope you're all following me. Any questions that you have, you may ask afterward. Please. The double-mindedness of Lot's wife. First Clement 11. We are going to be looking today in double-mindedness because it is not so heavy in the Bible. We are going to be looking at different places that speak about it, that gives us insight and match it up with the Bible. The double-mindedness of Lot's wife. Let's start here on the right. Genesis 19 verse 24. Then Yahweh rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from Yahweh out of heaven. And he overthrew those cities, and all the plain, and all the inhabitants of the cities, and that which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. Now, if we ask people about what happened to Lot's wife, why did she? Oh, because she looked back and she thought about Babylon, which is true. Okay? But when you look at it technically, it's her double-mindedness. Because she wanted to leave to save her life, but she loved Sodom. She loved Sodom. Now, what does that mean for us today as believers? Babylon. Oh, wicked Babylon. Babylon, you see, if you are not at the point where you despise Babylon, you are in trouble. You have to reach to a point where you cannot stand Babylon. Yes? Because if you leave Babylon, you're going to be like Lot's wife. And be looking back, longing to go back, wanting to go back from whence you came. And if you do so, Lot's wife was given to us as an example. Let's go in the book of 1 Clement. The book of 1 and 2 Clement, the books of 1 and 2 Clement can be downloaded from our website, justtheword.org/downloads. Or you can just go, click on the menu, go to the downloads page. And if you do not see it, you can put in the search bar Clement and they will come up. 1 Clement 11 verse 1 and 2. For this hospitality and godliness, for his hospitality and holiness, Lot was saved from Sodom, when all the country round about was judged by fire and brimstone. The master having thus fore shown that he forsaketh not them which set their hope on him, but appointed unto punishment and torment them which swerve aside. Look at this very carefully. The Most High does not forsake those of us who put our hopes in him. So when it's time for us to leave, say we are fleeing Babylon. Of course, today I didn't even think about focusing on fleeing Babylon. Did you know that? It was more the focus on double-mindedness. But now I'm seeing the Most High is skewing it towards that way. I just go with the flow. When you think you are fleeing Babylon, you are setting your hopes on the Most High. Many people are double-minded, not wanting to flee because they cannot calculate what this is going to happen, where they're going to get this, where they're going to get that. What am I gonna do? Feed how am I gonna eat? Or am I gonna this? Or I'm gonna be that? The usual things. It says the Most High does not forsake those who put their hope on him, but appointed unto punishment and torment them which swerve aside. So even if he takes you out of Babylon, and he does not forsake you, if you swerve aside from the way, he will still appoint you to torment and to punishment. So you see, single-mindedness. You have to be single-minded. You cannot swerve aside out of the way. You cannot be double-minded. So you have to be focused, and the Most High will not forsake you. But if you swerve aside, problem. Verse Clement 11, verse 2. For when his wife had gone forth with him, being otherwise minded, being double-minded, Lot's wife here, being double-minded, being otherwise minded, and not in accord. Remember earlier we said that when you're single-minded and you come together, you all have to be in one accord. Here it is. So his wife's mind was not in accord with him. So because his wife's mind was not in accord with him, the Most High took away his wife and made her a pillar of salt. We have to be single-minded and we have to be in one accord. So if you're gathering with people, this is the cue. Single-minded and of one accord. She was appointed for a sign hereunto, so that she became a pillar of salt unto this day. Let me read it again. For when his wife had gone forth with him, being otherwise minded and not in accord, she was appointed for a sign hereunto, so that she became a pillar of salt unto this day, that it might be known unto all men that they which are double-minded and they which doubt concerning the power of Alua are set for a judgment and for a token unto all the generations. What a powerful verse. What a powerful verse. I think I need to read it again. I think I need to read both verses again. Sorry about the time. But let me start again. 1 Clement 11, verse 1. The name Clement, of course, Clement is in the New Testament. When Shaul, I think, sent greetings unto Clement, it is the same Clement. For his hospitality and godliness, Lot was saved from Sodom, when all the country round about was judged by fire and brimstone. The Master having thus fore shown that he forsaketh not them which set their hope on him, but appointeth unto punishment and torment them which swerve aside. For when his wife had gone forth with him, being otherwise minded and not in accord, she was appointed for a sign hereunto, so that she became a pillar of salt unto this day, that it might be known unto all men that they which are double-minded and they which doubt concerning the power of Alua are set for a judgment and for a token unto all the generations. So we cannot doubt the power of the Most High, and we cannot be double-minded. Now in the book of Hanuk told us, Enoch, do not associate with those of a double heart. This double heart here is the same thing as being double-minded. Double-minded. And he spoke about righteousness to all his sons and said, hear, my children, all the words of your father, and listen properly to the voice of my mouth. Listen, right? For I will testify and speak to you, my beloved. Love uprightness and walk in it. So those who say they are coming out of Babylon first have to be walking in uprightness, have to love uprightness, and be walking in it. And do not draw near to uprightness with a double heart. So don't go and say you are seeking Yahuwah with a double heart. This is one of the biggest problems. People know, they hear about Yahuwah, they know that there's an Alua. Yahuwah does something in their hearts, in their minds, in their lives. And they say, okay, I'm going to serve Yahuwah. But they come to serve Yahuwah with a what? With a double heart. You cannot serve Yahuwah with a double heart. You see what he did with Lot's wife? We cannot serve him with a double heart. From the first time we come and say we are serving Yahuwah, we have to give up everything. We have to give up everything. We cannot serve him and live in the world at the same time. Meaning, you're in the world, but you're not of the world. So you're serving him, you're in the world, but you're full 100% serving him with the world just being a secondary. You're just there. You're just there going through because you cannot do any better. Not because you love it and love the things that are in there. Yeah? Let me start verse 4 again. And do not draw near to uprightness with a double heart. And do not associate with those of a double heart. You see? It's even saying don't associate with those of a double heart. This, I have told you, has been a problem with assemblies. I've been a part of assemblies, set apart assemblies for probably the last 3 years. This has been the problem. People associating with those of a double heart. I gave it to you earlier. I told you of the spirit of how people latch on to people who are like them. So they have a double heart. When they come together with people, they find someone else with a double heart. What does Enoch say? Do not associate with those of a double heart, but walk in righteousness, my children, and it will lead you in good paths, and righteousness will be your companion. So righteousness cannot be our companion if we associate with those who have a double heart, with those who are double-minded. So if you're a believer and you see someone is not totally 100% focused on the Most High, how are you going to be associating with them? This close bond with them? It's impossible. It will not work. Because the devil will use that person to pull you down. You think you can pull them up? The devil will use you to pull them down. Now, to try to pull them up, you have to hit and run. Yes? You say a word to them and you go. You say a word to them and you go. If they start to come, then you can pull them up. That's how it works. But to be there associating with them where they are going to pull you down and sap your spiritual energy. Okay? Now we're looking at various aspects of double-mindedness. Because double-mindedness also keeps us from having our prayers answered. That's how dangerous it is. Most I will not hear the prayer of a double-minded person. Can you imagine that? Let's see it. So double-mindedness keeps us from having our prayers answered. Jacob, James 1 verse 6. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of Yahuwah. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So because the man is double-minded, he's unstable. He doesn't have the faith because he's asking, wavering. The Most High will not give him what he's asking. You see that? Let's look at it some more in the book of Sirach, chapter 1, verse 28. Distrust not the fear of Yahuwah when thou art poor, and come not unto him with a double heart. Do not come at the Most High with double-mindedness, because he's not going to answer you. The Most High answers the prayer of faith. Faith. Let him ask in faith. And remember earlier we looked at double-mindedness to see that the opposite of it is faith. Double-mindedness is a great sin and it keeps us back spiritually. I can guarantee you that it is one of the reasons that many of us are struggling. But give thanks to the Most High. He has opened up our eyes. He has brought this to us today. Double-mindedness is one of the reasons we are struggling, because not even your prayers he will answer. Let not that man think shall receive anything of Yahuwah. And when James said, let not that man, he's declaring, don't bother think, don't think you're going to receive anything of the Most High. And you're not asking in faith. So faith and double-mindedness. Faith and double-mindedness. That's what we're going to look at next. Faith and double-mindedness. I think we are going to go to the shepherd of Hermas. The shepherd of Hermas. A deeper look into double-mindedness and faith, chapter 39, verses 1 to 12, page 42. Page 42. 1 to 12, I said. All right. Commandment 9 on double-mindedness. I want you to look at this very carefully. Let me see if I can touch this up one more notch. Double-mindedness. So this is Hermas being spoken to, I think, by the angel. Let's see what the Most High says about double-mindedness. You're going to see that it's very much attached to faith. Let's begin. He said to me, rid yourself of double-mindedness, and do not be at all double-minded about asking the Most High for something. Saying to yourself, for example, I want you to listen very carefully, your prayers. Saying to yourself, for example, how can I ask for something from Allah and receive it when I have sinned so often against him? You see how the Most High is merciful? So if you come to him, even if you have even sinned sinned against him a lot, if you come to him believing, not wavering, believing that he will provide it. Do not reason in this way, but turn to Yahuwah with all your heart and ask of him unhesitatingly, and you will know his extraordinary compassion, because he will never abandon you, but will fulfill your soul's request. For Allah is not like humans who bear grudges. No, he is without malice and has compassion on his creation. But you see, even though he has compassion on his creation, the ticket, the key to unlock that compassion is faith. It's faith. Single-mindedness. Double-mindedness is what locks the door on us. You therefore cleanse your heart of all the vanities of this life and of all the things mentioned to you above, and ask of Yahuwah, and you will receive everything, and will not fail to receive all of your requests if you ask unhesitatingly. So when you come to pray before the Most High, don't be hesitating. Ask firmly and believe. Verse 5. But if you hesitate in your heart, you will certainly not receive any of your requests. Let me repeat that sentence. But if you hesitate in your heart, you will certainly not receive any of your requests. For those who hesitate in their relation to Allah are the double-minded, and they never obtain any of their requests. This, of course, matches with James that we just read. Let not that man think he's going to receive anything of Yahuwah. So double-mindedness, people, my people, Hey. But here, verse 6 now, contrasting those who are in faith. But those who are perfect in faith make all their requests trusting in Yahweh, and they receive them because they ask unhesitatingly, without any double-mindedness. For any double-minded person who does not repent will scarcely be saved. Let me read it over again. Verse 6. But those who are, and you see these books? The Christians tell us, don't read these books. You see this book called The Shepherd of Hermas? This is utter wickedness to tell people not to read this book. This book only teaches you righteousness. It only teaches you how to be perfected before the Most High and to qualify to enter the kingdom. The early assemblies used to use this book. Yes? But they told us, do not read it. Satan told you, do not read it. Because if you read it, then you are going to know and understand some things that are blinding you. You will be perfected. Let me read verse 6 again. But those who are perfect in faith make all their requests trusting in Yahuwah, and they receive them because they ask unhesitatingly, without any double-mindedness. No, hear this sentence again. For any double-minded person who does not repent will scarcely be saved. For any double-minded person who does not repent will scarcely be saved. So cleanse your heart of double-mindedness and put on faith. You see both of them opposites. Because it is strong, and trust Allah that you will receive all the requests you make. And whenever you ask for something from Yahuwah, and you receive your request rather slowly, do not become double-minded just because you did not receive your soul's requests quickly. For assuredly it is because of some temptation or some transgression of which you are ignorant that you are receiving your request rather slowly. Do not stop, therefore, making your soul's request, and you will receive it. But if you become weary and double-minded as you ask, blame yourself and not the one who gives to you. Beware of this double-mindedness, for it is evil and senseless, and has uprooted many from the faith, even those who are very faithful and strong. You see how important this teaching is? And nobody really teaches this. Beware of this double-mindedness, for it is evil and senseless, and has uprooted many from the faith, even those who are very faithful and strong. For this double-mindedness is indeed a daughter of the devil, and does much evil to Allah's servants. So this praise upon Yahuwah's servants, this vacillating of the mind, this changing, this two-spirited thing, it is a daughter of the devil. So despise, verse 10, so despise double-mindedness and gain mastery over it in everything by clothing yourself with faith. You see the antidote? It's emunah, that is strong and powerful. For faith promises all things, perfects all things, but double-mindedness, not having any confidence in itself, fails in all the works it tries to do. When you are full of faith, people, you believe. You are fixated on something. You believe. Your strength is there, and the Most High will hear you through what you believe, and He will make what you believe come true. As long as what you believe is not based on your lusts and your desires, as long as what you are asking for, rather, is not based on unrighteous things, the Most High will hear you. But double-mindedness, hey, not having any confidence in itself. So double-mindedness, not having any confidence in itself, it's lacking in faith. And because you're lacking in faith, you're going along the path. And when you come upon that problem, then you swerve away from the path. Instead of staying fixed on the path until the Most High opens the gate for you, you swerve and you try to go around in all sorts of directions. Double-minded, not having any confidence in itself. It will fail in all the works it tries to do. So what is it saying? A believer that is double-minded cannot work the righteousness of Yahuwah. That is why you hear us here, we teach certain things. And when we teach certain things, sometimes some people say, boy, it is hard. It is hard, but it is the way of the single-minded. We do not teach double-mindedness. We do not tell you, well, it's okay. Yeah, but yeah, it's okay. You can do that. No, we just tell you what the word says you should do. It is up to you now to decide how you are going to handle it. Because we can tell you what you should do, but we cannot force you to do what you do not want to do. So everything that we're telling you is up to you. Let me continue. So you see, he said, that faith is from above, from Yahuwah, and has great power. But double-mindedness is an earthly spirit from the devil and has no power. From the devil. And has no power. Let me say it again. So you see, he said, that faith is from above, from Yahuwah, and has great power. But double-mindedness is an earthly ruach from the devil that has no power. So serve faith, serve emunah, which has power, and have nothing to do with double-mindedness. Stop making your mind take you here and there and everywhere, playing hopscotch. Yeah? Because you're afraid of a little fire. So serve emunah, which has power, and have nothing to do with double-mindedness, which has no power, and you will live to Alua. Indeed, all who are so minded will live to Alua. Yada Yahuwah. Great is Yahuwah, and greatly to be praised. So, double-mindedness. You know, when I'm here and I'm speaking with, I think itching me, speaking with believers here, I've always said that we are soldiers. And there are some people who even take offense to it. But it is actually what it is. We are spiritual soldiers. That's why Shaul could speak about put on the whole armor. We war not against flesh and blood. We are spiritual soldiers, but we don't war in the flesh. We war in the ruach, in the spirit. But if we are double-minded, we are powerless. We cannot be true soldiers if we have double hearts. 1 Chronicles 12, verse 33. Of Zebulun, such as went forth to battle, expert in war, with all instruments of war, 50,000, which could keep rank. They were not of double heart. If you understand the army, yes? I don't understand it much, but I think I understand what this means. Keeping rank is being able to keep discipline, isn't it so? Somebody tell me if I'm wrong so that I can learn something. Keeping rank means keeping discipline, keeping an order. I have always spoken that the Most High works in what? Order. Double-minded people cannot keep order. One of the biggest problems you find when believers come together is believers being able to keep the order of the Most High. To respect the leader who the Most High has given them, etc. The order that the Most High has given them is almost impossible. Because they are double-minded. Double-mindedness makes you unable to keep rank. Now these men of Zebulun could keep rank because they were not of a double heart. They were not double-minded. So when you come to serve Yahuwah, you have to be able to keep order. That's why the word says, obey them that do what? Have the rule over you. The Most High always puts people to have the rule over you. And that is why it says, the woman must be in subjection to the man. Because there's an order that has to be followed. The double-minded woman cannot keep rank. The double-minded woman cannot be in subjection to her husband, or in subjection to an assembly that she is put in because the man leads the assembly. She cannot keep rank because she's double-minded. So a woman will start grumbling. Oh, the subjection. The Bible tells you, I forbid a woman to preach or to usurp authority over the man. And the woman still wants to preach. The woman still wants to usurp authority over the man. Double-minded. Because she's seeking out her own way, her own satisfaction. I was watching a video, and it was someone who was making a comment on an IUIC video, where they did a video showing how a woman must be in subjection to her husband. And then the person was running down the comments. So the woman was there saying, I sewed the fringes for my husband, and I also call my husband Lord. You know, they use that word Lord. So she called him on the phone. Yes, Lord, and everything. Now, in the comments, the person was running down the comments. You should hear the comments from the women who were there. I ain't gonna call him no man, no Lord. It's one person I call Lord, and this and that and that. Comments after comments were women who were not willing to keep rank, to be in subjection. If you are double-minded, you are not going to be able to be under subjection. To be single-minded means you follow the instructions that are given by the Most High. You follow the order that is given by the Most High. Yes? So when you're in an assembly, there can be no order with double-minded people. They cannot keep rank. They're always going to be thinking their own ways and everything. You're going to try to be keeping an order. They're thinking their own ways, scheming, plotting, thinking, planning with someone else, talking with someone else, going against the way. Hey. So, double-minded people will even be thinking and speaking vanity. Psalms 12 verse 2. They speak vanity, everyone with his neighbor. With flattering lips and with a double heart do they speak. So when people are double-minded, they will speak what? Vanity. They will be loving this world and the things that are in this world. They will not be able to overcome 1 John 2:15, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. When your spirit is going all over the place, when you cannot be fixated on the instructions of the Most High, you are going to be in trouble. Oh, there we go with the internet again. Let's wait on it to get back up, because the next thing yeah. All right, so if you are on YouTube, we have a break on Zoom. I don't know if YouTube is continuing. I probably should look. to see what's going on. Oh, everything is slowed down. Only hope YouTube is still running. All right, that came up. Only hope YouTube is still running. I am trying to find out if it is still running. All right. All right, sorry about that again on Zoom. I don't know if YouTube is still running. I hope so. I think so. All right. So we just look at the fact that we cannot be true soldiers, and if we are double-minded, we will be thinking and speaking vanity. Now, in the book The Shepherd of Hermas, it tells us about the evil of an angry temper. One of the greatest tools of the devil is an angry temper. So we are going to look at double-mindedness and an angry temper from the testament of the patriarchs, the testament of Issachar, page 43. Page 43, and what did I say? Which verse again? 3:1? 3:5 to 4:6. All right, so let me begin. This is Issachar speaking. I lived my life with singleness of vision. This is single-mindedness. Singleness of vision. Single-mindedness. So he's going to tell us what was the result in his life by living single-mindedness. In single-mindedness. Accordingly, when I was 35, I took myself a wife because hard work consumed my energy and pleasure with a woman never came to my mind. Rather, sleep overtook me because of my labor. So because of his single-mindedness, he was focused on his job and focused on righteousness. He did not have time to think about the pleasure of a woman. When you are double-minded, you're going to be thinking all sorts of ways. This is showing up again the Hebrew Israelites today and their thrust towards polygyny, multiple wives. Now, we ourselves know we are in this covenant. We are in the new covenant, yes? I'm talking, so let's put the seed. So we are in the new covenant. And in the new covenant, we are charged to deny ourselves. If any man come after me, let him deny himself. In Luke 14, the Messiah even said, if any man deny not his father, his mother, his wife, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. Yet still these Hebrews are proposing and pushing multiple wives. Because it said in the book of Isaiah, chapter 4, that 7 women shall take hold of one man and said, let us be called by your name, we will go with you, we will, something about garments, etc. That is a totally different situation, which I will not discuss because I don't want to digress. Yes? But it was speaking about women whose men had spoiled them, and the Messiah is going to give their men to be destroyed, and the women are not going to have any men, and the men who are there now in the end, the righteous men who are reserved in the end, will have these women as their wives. It's another thing, won't get into it. But look at this, when you are single-minded, you are going to be focused on the Most High. A lot of people will ask you, what do you think about polygamy or polygyny? Listen to what I'm saying. When you are single-minded, you are going to be focused on the Messiah. You're going to be focused on the Messiah and the Most High. You're going to be seeking Yahweh with all your heart, mind, and soul. Shaul said in 1 Corinthians 7 that he wished everyone was like him. That means without a partner. He started it by saying, verse 1, I think, it is good for a man not to be with a woman. Why? Because it's time for single-mindedness. But yet still, our brothers are letting us believe that because the Bible says it in the law, then we should have multiple partners. The same Shaul says everything is me, but not all things are expedient. So not because it is in the law, that does not mean that I should do it. because it's not going to be expedient for me as a believer at this time, seeking single-mindedness, seeking to walk in the way of Yahusha, to be piling up wives behind me. Anyway, let me continue. This wasn't what I came to speak about, but it just came up as usual, so let me go. Verse 6. And my father was continually integrity. So when you're single-minded, you are going to be walking in integrity. Whatever it was that I labored over at every as a firstborn, I made an offering to Yahuwah through the priest, then for my father, and then for myself. So you see single-mindedness? Single-mindedness is when you're focused on serving Yahuwah and loving your neighbor as yourself, first and foremost, and putting yourself after. And because of your single-mindedness, guess what? Yahuwah is going to barak you. And Yahuwah doubled the good things in my hands. Jacob or Jacob knew that Elohim collaborated with my integrity. So even his father knew that because of the way that he was living his life, the Most High was giving him barakah because of how he was living in integrity. In the integrity or in the singleness of my heart, I supplied everything from the good things of the earth to all the poor and the oppressed. You see single-mindedness? Now listen to me, children, and live in integrity of heart. For in it I have observed everything that is well-pleasing to Yahuwah. The genuine man, that is, the single-minded man, does not desire gold. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. The genuine man does not desire gold. He does not defraud his neighbor. He does not long for fancy foods, nor does he want fine clothes. You know, long for fancy foods. I want to look at this. It says, with food and raiment be there with content. But you have to be content with base foods. With base foods. Nor does he want fine clothes. Why? I want to say something about these, but better not. Yeah? He does not make plans to live a long life. Not even a long life. A single-minded man is focused on, but awaits only the will of Elohim. This is single-mindedness. And how did Hamashiach manifest this? Nevertheless, not my will, thy will be done. This is single-mindedness, focused on the will and the way of Yahuwah, following the instructions of Yahuwah to our own hurt. Don't care about these things, those clothing or food. Yeah? And the Ruach of error have no power over him. The Ruach of error has no power over him. Now, what's the important significance of this Ruach of error? Let's go to this Ruach of error. I'm going to show you something. That's why precept must be upon precept. Precept upon precept. Line upon line upon line. Here a little, there a little. For the past few... What? For the past... Concentrating on Yahusha is Yahuwah. And showing people that it is caused by the spirit of error. It says when you're single-minded, the spirit of error will have no power over you. The spirit of error has blinded the minds of so many. It is sweeping across the world. Sweeping across the world. People who had our beliefs said they were following the way. Before now, there used to be rejecting this Jesus is God, saying it's an abomination. It's a Trinity. That's all of a sudden, so many of our believers are now following Yahusha is Yahuwah. It has swept through the place. It is caused by the spirit of error, the spirit of anti-Messiah, antichrist. Same way now with the Sabbath. So many people have rejected the Sabbath. I hear people keeping Sabbaths in the weeks, even people that I associated with. The spirit of error, the spirit of anti-Messiah or antichrist. But when you are single-minded, that spirit will have no power over you. Double-minded people, they go and they seek teachers all over. Itching ears. They go over here, they hear, they listen. They go over there, they listen. They go over there and they just say, okay, this sounds good, I'll take that. That one, okay, I'll buy that. I'll buy that for and they go and they buy something and they come and pitch, patch. You know one thing, I'm not boasting, but I'm telling you, I'm happy for the Most High. The Most High has never made me be a pitchy. The Most High is the one who has taught me. The Most High is the one who has led me and taught me. And this is why when I speak some things and other people are, a lot of people who even follow me, they don't believe the things what I say until maybe years after they see it coming in, they believe. Because it sounds so radical. Why? Because he chooses people for such a time as this. He chose me for the awakening, to open the eyes of the people in the awakening. That is why so many people are deceived. We ask you to check out our latest video on Just a Word Shorts. It's the video about why most Gentiles are not grafted in as they believe. That video has some things in there, insights in there that most people do not have. I can tell you that. Because when I'm finished with it, I have to watch it 2 times after. And it's not because of pride or anything. It's because of getting the insights and there and getting and this and that in that video. Yes? I don't follow people. I follow the leading of the Ruach. Now you have people here, they go here, they listen here, they go to this there, and pick and pick and pick. And you're going to pick because guess what? That's double-mindedness. You have to know where the Most High sent you to eat. Which restaurant he sent you to eat food. If he sent you to eat food here, why are you going to eat elsewhere? Wherever the cow is tied, that is where he should feed. Why are you going into another pasture to feed? So the double-mindedness, remember it says, the spirit of error has no power over him. Let's look at the spirit of Antichrist that has power over those who actually have itching ears. 1 John 4 verse 1. Beloved, believe not every ruach, but try the ruach whether they are of Alua, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. Hereby know ye the ruach of Alua. Every ruach that confesseth that Yahusha is come in the flesh is of Alua. So every ruach that confesses that Yahusha is a human being, 100% human being, is Alua. Not the one who confesses that Yahusha is Yahuwah. What happens to those who confess that Yahusha is Yahuwah? And every ruach that confesseth not that Yahusha Mashiach is come in the flesh is not of Alua. And that is that ruach of anti-Mashiach, whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now already is it in the world. Ye are children and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. They are of the world, therefore speak they of the world, and the world heareth them. What is the significance of this? A very key thing to double-mindedness is not loving the world. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. So if we love the world, we are of the world. And if we are of the world, we are going to speak of the world. And the world is going to hear us because the world is in the spirit of error. Verse 6, we are of Alua. He that knoweth Alua heareth us. He that is not of Alua heareth not us. Hereby know ye the ruach of truth and the ruach of error. The ruach of error today is the anti-Messiah spirit. Yahuwah is Yahusha. Jesus is God. Lunar Sabbath. And the lunar Sabbath and the spirit of anti-Messiah, you can find that in the book of Daniel when it tells you that the anti-Messiah will change times and laws. And it's changing the Sabbath. If you want to find out when it's the Sabbath, we have a whole, go to justaword.org/scripture-calendar. Or you can just go in the search bar and search calendar. That page will come up. And from that page, you can launch and see all the things that we do with time, with calendars, with the calendar, etc. Okay? All praises to the Most High for His mercy. So, let's go back now to Issachar. Let's go back to Issachar. So, the ruach of error will have no power over the single-minded man. Those who don't love the world. So, you see people who are leading you, this is another thing. You have to evaluate people who are leading you. If you see me loving the world and partaking of the world and just like anybody else in the world, don't listen to me. I'm telling you. Because the ruach of error is going to have power over me. Because I love the world. But if you see me rejecting the world and living the life like a hermit, that's when you should listen to me. If you go back to the old prophets of old, if you read the book of 2nd Esdras, for example, you see how the prophets lived. Sometimes in the field, sometimes they lived a life that is not glorious. Elijah, look how he lived. The Most High had Jeremiah walking for 2 years with a yoke on his shoulder. He had Isaiah walking naked for what, 3 years or such, something like that. When the Most High calls us and has us, He has us doing some things that are ridiculous. It's not the run-of-the-mill person. So the person who lives just like most people in this world, why am I going to listen to that? And sometimes I see, and I'm talking to people, and I see, you know, the other day, I was on Threads. I'm always on there watching what people are saying and conversing with those who I can converse with. And I said to myself, well, you know, the people who are trying to teach you, when you look on their profile, you see them promoting their business. And yet it is... and I'm saying, how can you want to teach people? And you're loving the world. And the word says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. And we look at you and we see you vain. And we look at your face, we see your face painted up with all sorts of face stone, all sorts of and you are there teaching people. Understand, that is double-mindedness. When people are double-minded, when you see them, they look like the people in the world. A single-minded person, just like Issachar, is going to be willing and wanting to take, they will not have any appetite for the world. They will not have any appetite for the world. Yes, they will not have any appetite for the world. Let me continue on Issachar. And the ruach of error will have no power over him, since he does not include feminine beauty in the scope of his vision, lest by allowing distraction he might corrupt his mind. So when you're single-minded, you're single-mindedly focused. Envy will not penetrate his thinking. No malice dissipates his soul. No avarice intrudes over his integrity. Yada Yahuwah. For he lives by the integrity of his soul and perceives. Yo, my brother, me now want teaching. Me call you back, yeah? Sin? Yeah. Yes. So, envy will not penetrate his thinking, no malice dissipates his soul, no avarice intrudes upon his integrity. For he lives by the integrity of his soul. He lives by the integrity of his soul and perceives all things by the rectitude of his heart, making no place for an outlook made evil by this world's error, in order that he might envision no turning aside from any of Yahuwah's command. This is very powerful. You can read it on your own. Yes? That's how important it is to be single-minded. Now we spoke about itching ears earlier. Double-mindedness and itching ears. When you are double-minded, that is when you are going to go all over the place. We live in a world of double-minded, a whole world. YouTube has made us double-minded. Social media has destroyed single-mindedness. It has given us too many places where we are attracted. I tried to call a brother the other day. Was it yesterday? And then I called his brother, and his brother said that his brother is fasting from social media. And I felt so good. Fasting from social media. Social media gives you these choices. When you're in your app on these things, yeah? Things you open from one place to the other, one to the other, one to the other, and you go here and somebody give you a better information and another information. And you develop these itching ears. You now want to hear more and more. 2 Timothy 4 verse 1. I charge thee therefore before Eluah and the Master Yahushua Hamashiach, who shall judge the quick and the dead at his appearing and his kingdom. Preach the word. Be instant in season, out of season. Reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. These are for people like me, and also you as well. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, which is now, but after their own lusts shall they heap to themselves teachers, having itching ears, want to hear this, want to hear that. And they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. Man, this turned unto fables. So, this is what is happening today. We are being turned away from the truth, and we are being turned unto lies. Being turned unto fables means being turned unto fallacies. Okay? Now I'm checking to see if we are still on YouTube, because the Zoom is now down again. So, the Great Sin of Double-Mindedness. 67 persons watching. I think that must be record. All praises to the Most High. Yeah, I only hope the enemy does not disturb it. 67 persons watch. That's a good. So, this itching ears, they will be turned to fables. This is when you are double-minded. Single-minded people will be single-mindedly focused on the way and the will and everything of the Most High. Now, in the book, The Shepherd of Hermas, it tells us, Shepherd of Hermas, page 18, chapter 15, verse 1. When the angel was explaining to Hermas about the stones, the angel said, and the other stones that you saw thrown far from the tower and falling onto the road and rolling off the road to wastelands are those who have believed, but because of their double-mindedness, abandon their true road. thinking that they can find a better way. They go astray and wander about in misery, trudging through the wastelands. This is what happens to itching ears, people. You have to know who the Most High calls you to show you the truth. That is why when people come to me, sometimes people come to me that they want to join. I tell them first, who is your teacher? If you have a teacher, stay with your teacher. Don't come and pass through. Jamaican. Don't come and pass through just a word and then you go back to your teacher. That's itching ears. Wherever the cow is tied, let the cow feed there. If you want to hear from us, you can watch our videos or whatever. We have our website, we have our audio, we have our podcast, whatever. You can watch those. But for you to come in and be speaking with us and for me to be tutoring you and you already have a teacher, that is confusion. Yahuwah is not the author of confusion. That is itching ears. Look at what Hermas is saying. They are rolling off the road to wastelands are those who have believed, but because of their double-mindedness, they abandon their true road. So the true road is not an easy road. Narrow is the way that leads to life, and few there be that find it, but wide is the gate that leads to destruction, and many there be that go in thereat. So the narrow way is hard, it is tough. But if you are double-minded, you're going to run from it. If you are single-minded, you will go there. The double-minded will find a way, thinking that they can find a better way. They go astray and wander about in misery. I know this is what happens. I'm not being boasting again. But this is what happens with our thing here. A lot of the times I see people, oh no. Because I know the vultures that are out there. I know the errors and the false teachings. And I know within my heart, I've dedicated my entire life to make sure I don't try to teach people error. That is my thing. I don't do this for gain. I just do this because my mind is on the kingdom. And whomever's mind is on the kingdom, I want to help them to reach there with me. That's my thing. I'm not about gain. Anything. But people thinking they can find another way. So if you are with a teacher, I'm telling you this, and that teacher is leading you on the right path, and you are thinking, please do not leave that person. Because you might be like one of those stones that are thrown far from the tower and falling onto the road and rolling off the road to wastelands. You know what that means? That means it's worthless. Nothing will come of it. It not only falls onto the road, it also rolls off the road. And not only rolls off the road to the sidewalk, it rolls into wastelands. Double-mindedness and itching ears. People, I want you to take this teaching very seriously. It's a serious teaching. Probably that's why there are so many people on the YouTube today. This is very serious and hardly ever taught. Now, very importantly, your double-mindedness causes you to lack understanding. How do we get understanding? The fear of Allah is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. If we are double-minded, we will not be able to do his commandments. We will not be able to do his commandments. And because of that, we will lack understanding. Shepherd of Hermas, page 22, chapter 18, verse 9. Said, Sir, I ask only this one thing about the three forms of the elderly woman, that a complete revelation may be given. He answered me and said, How long will you people lack understanding? Your double-mindedness causes you to lack understanding. Indeed, you lack it because your heart is not set toward Yahuwah. That is how we lose understanding. That is how double-mindedness lets us lose understanding. Because our hearts are not set towards Yahuwah. When you're double-minded, you cannot focus totally on Yahuwah's way, on Yahuwah's will. You cannot. You are focusing on your thing. This thing is bothering you. Oh, that and this and that. You cannot focus on Yahuwah's way. Because you're not focusing on Yahuwah's way, you don't even fear him. You do not even have the time to do his commandments. So guess what? Wretched are the double-minded. Wretched are the double-minded. 1 Clement 23, verse 2. Therefore, let us not be double-minded. Neither let your soul indulge in idle humors, respecting his exceeding and splendid gifts. Let us not be double-minded. So it's speaking about idle humors. Idle humors are what? Joking around. The Bible calls it idle jesting. So when you're single-minded, not even this joking around you're not going to be interested in. There are some of us as believers on our timelines in social media, we have jokes. We're putting up jokes to entertain people, to make people laugh. Why is this so today? You know what? Wonder if I'll have time to do it. Let me see if I can set this filter properly. Why is this filter up? I don't know why it is like that. I don't know. It's a little better. Yeah. Yes. 1 Clement 23 verse 3. Let this scripture be far from us, where he hath said, wretched are the double-minded, which doubt in their soul, and say, these things we did hear in the days of our fathers also. And behold, we have grown old, and none of these things have befallen us. So the double-minded will be saying, from before time began, we hear that Yahusha is coming. Yes? And we still can't see him. It says, wretched are the double-minded. So what do? Let us repent and drive away double-mindedness so that we can receive forgiveness. We have to show you the danger of double-mindedness. But all is not lost. Repentance is what stands in the way. And I'm sure if you examine yourself to see the problems and the struggles that you go through, this is why believers from immemorial, Christians have always been struggling. Yes? Why do you struggle? You struggle because you are double-minded. It's simple. The way will be hard to you because your mind is not 100% with the way. When your mind is with the way, then you will find joy in everything, even your struggling, in your suffering, in your tribulation. That is why Shaul was able to say, rejoicing in tribulation. Yeah? You rejoice when tribulation comes upon you, because you are focused on one way. You are focused on the kingdom, and you know that when you are going through tribulation, you are going through the suffering that is in Hamashiach. So going through the suffering that is in Hamashiach, you rejoice in it because you are following Hamashiach. Okay? So, repentance to receive forgiveness. Shepherd of Hermas, page 9, chapter 6, verse 4. After you have made known to them all these words, which the Master ordered me to reveal to you, then all the sins that they have previously committed will be forgiven them. So this is speaking about his family now. The angel was telling him he must rebuke his family so that they turn away from their evil. Indeed, all the saints who have sinned up to this day will be forgiven if they repent with all their heart and drive away double-mindedness from their heart. Repent, drive away double-mindedness from your heart, and you will be forgiven. Verse 7. You therefore who work righteousness must be steadfast and do not be double-minded, in order that you may gain entrance with the set-apart angels. Barak are those of you who patiently endure the coming great tribulation and who will not deny their life. It is like the Most High is preparing us for what? Can you see it? It is like he is coming. The double-minded are going to fail in the trials ahead. I have spoken, I have done videos, I have done shorts, I don't know what else I need to do, about the number of his name, the global digital ID that they are coming with, that they are going to ask you to take. They're going to cause you to take it because it's going to be tied to your bank, and they're going to come with digital banking. You're not going to be able to buy and sell without it. Along with, both of them are going to go together. If you are double-minded, what sort of things going to happen to you? You're going to start thinking, well, the Most High will understand. And then they'll start saying, well, it's just an ID. We have always had IDs. And why does this? Why is Kazakh saying that this is... the Most High spoke through me before it happens, so that when it comes, you cannot say, oh, you're just getting this because this and this is happening. You're saying this. This has not yet been implemented. And we have been telling you, I've been telling you months, maybe over a year, about this number of the beast. If you are double-minded, the beast is going to catch you. It's going to get you. If you're double-minded, the beast is going to get you to worship his image, Jesus Christ. And not only worship him, if you're not even worshiping Jesus Christ, you're going to be walking in the way of those who worship him. Because Christianity is the religion of Babylon. It is Babylon's religion that they use to get people to partake in Babylon's merchandising. Christianity pushes prosperity. It pushes your participation in this world, accepting this world and its governments and its system and everything, partaking of it. That is Christianity. Now, if you are double-minded, not totally focused and fixed on the way of the Most High, not willing to give up your life for righteousness' sake, not willing to be his people and to obey him and seek him with all your heart and to flee out of the midst of Babylon, then you are going to be double-minded. Mark my words when I'm telling you. There are going to be a lot of people who are coming with buts. But it is, oh, but we cannot survive if we, cigarette butt. Hey. As I say cigarette, but it's no coincidence because I get dreams about people smoking cigarettes. Whenever I get those dreams, it is rebellion. So if you are double-minded, you are going to rebel against the Most High. You're going to rebel against his words and against his you to tell you his truth. Revelation 13:17 is coming up very soon. They are going to be coming with more diseases. And they are going to be telling you to take that. For those sicknesses, what are you going to do? There are some people here stuck in Babylon. Stuck in the system, in the midst of it. They are trying to find all sorts of excuses to remain. Double-minded, what are you going to do? When the beast really starts to attack, what are you going to do? Let me read 7 again. You therefore, who work righteousness, must be steadfast and do not be double-minded. You must be steadfast. In order that you may gain entrance with the set-apart angels. You cannot gain entrance. I'm going to go to Revelation 15 when I'm done. Barak are those of you who patiently endure the coming great tribulation and who will not deny their life. You will not sell out to the lie. What these people are doing in this world, my people, what they are doing in this world, they are setting up their world slavery system. They know what the Bible says. The Bible is for us, the children of slaves, to rule the world and to rule those who had enslaved us. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. The same people who enslaved us are setting up a new world order. One world government, fourth industrial revolution, the fourth kingdom of Daniel. They are setting that up in order to enslave all of us, in which they say you will not have anything but you will be happy. So we will not have anything and we will be happy, but they will what? Own and rule the world. They are giving us, they are putting that thing in our bodies, because that thing is going to be attached to a quantum computer. That quantum computer is going to be able to central controlling system of everyone in this world. They're going to be able to know everything about you, where you are, what you're doing, even what you're thinking, through brain-machine interface technology. They are going to use that to set up their slavery system, in which they will be using robots to work and find a way to destroy most of us, get us out of their way. And they'll be using robots to work, and we will be their slaves. These are the rich people of the world who are doing it. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. But the Most High is busily preparing us to be the masters of those servants. So we have two systems that are being set up. And if you want more understanding into this, please go and watch the video that we do on Just a Word Shorts. It is probably one of the greatest videos I believe that we have done, I have done, that gives so much insights, yes, into things that people never understood. Please go and watch that video. Why? The video is entitled, Are You Really Grafted In? So the Most High is busy setting us up to rule this world. So those people know that, so they are trying to set up their system in this world, in order that they have a strong enough system so that when the Messiah returns, the Messiah cannot defeat them. Yes? But the Bible tells us about times and a half a time. It tells you it will only be 3.5 years. It won't be long before when they're doing this thing. So, can't you soldier it out for 3.5 years? Oh, I forgot. We did earlier that says you cannot keep rank if you have a double heart. So you have to find a way to be single-minded. To soldier it out for 3.5 years, because after that it's going to be destruction from Messiah. And then we're going to have this. After the 3.5 years, this is what we're going to have. Let's go there. After the 3.5 years, and I don't know when it started, it hasn't been revealed to me when it has started or when it will start. We are right in the thing. I think I did that thing about the 70 weeks of Daniel. I have to go check that back, where it kind of gives us more idea of when it starts. This is what's going to happen. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of Yahuwah. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of Yahuwah. And they sing the song of Moses, the servant of Yahuwah, and the song of the Lamb, saying, Great and marvelous are thy works, Yahuwah, Yahuwah Almighty. Just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints. Who shall not fear thee, O Yahuwah, and shall exalt thy name? For thou alone art holy. For all nations shall come and worship before thee, for thy judgments are made manifest. This is the victory for those who held out, those who were single-minded. Those who were single-minded. But if we are double-minded, it is trouble. We are going to be swept away. If we are double-minded, let's go to Revelation 14. If we are double-minded, let's go one chapter back, Revelation 14. Verse 1, and I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads. And I heard a voice from Shamaim, as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder, and I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. Let me go where I want. Verse 6, and I saw another angel fly in the midst of Shamaim, having the everlasting good tidings to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation, and kindred, and tongue, and people, saying with a loud voice, Fear Alua, no, verse 8. And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, is fallen. No, verse 9. This is one that I want. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast, and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Alua, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the set-apart angels, and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever. For they have no rest, day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints. Patience! Here are they that keep the commandments of Alua and the faith of Yahusha, the single-minded saints. Those who bow. Those who bow are the double-minded. Anyway, let's get some encouragement from the book of 2 Clement. Is it here? The book of 2 Clement. And of course, you can get this from our website, as we have said before. What verse was it again? Verses 19 and 20. It's a little smallish here. Probably have to find the time to try to divide it up some more. 19 and 20. Let me see if I can get it a little bigger. Little bigger? Can it go a little bigger? How is it? Yeah. Let me get this thing from above my head. Therefore, brothers and sisters, following the allure of truth, I am reading you an exhortation to pay attention to that which is written, that you may both save yourselves and him who is the reader among you. For as a reward, I beg you that you repent with all your heart and give to yourselves salvation and life. For if we do this, we shall set a mark for all the younger who wish to work in the cause of holiness and the goodness of Alua. And let us not be displeased or be vexed in our foolishness when anyone admonishes us and turns us from unrighteousness to righteousness. For sometimes when we do evil, we do not know it because of the double-mindedness and unbelief which is in our breasts. And we are darkened in our understanding by vain desires. You see, everything that we did here today, the words are here. We dealt with understanding, vanity, double-mindedness, unbelief, all of them here. Let me read the sentence again. For sometimes when we do evil, we do not know it because of the double-mindedness and unbelief which is in our breasts. And we are darkened in our understanding by vain desires. Let us then do righteousness, that we may be saved at the end. Barak are they who obey these instructions. Though they suffer for a short time in this world, bam! You see, all of these things I didn't plan get into these things, into these words. You see it? You will suffer for a short time in this world. You have to make up your mind to suffer. So many believers are running from suffering. When you have learned to suffer, when suffering comes, you have been used to it, you have been through it before. Yes? And so you will more easily go through it. Let me put up this thing. Yeah. So, Barak are they who obey these instructions. Where am I? Though they suffer for a short time in this world, they shall gather the immortal fruit of the resurrection. Let not then the pious or the holy grieve if he endure sorrow at this present time. You know, this thing looks like the Most High is preparing us for something. Now that I'm doing this teaching, it's because the Most High is preparing us. Though they suffer for a short time in this world, we have to remember these words. If anything happens, we have to remember. They shall gather the immortal fruit of the resurrection. Let not then the pious or the holy grieve if he endure sorrow at this present time. A time of blessedness awaits him. He shall live again with the fathers above and rejoice to an eternity wherein there is no sorrow. But neither let it grieve your mind that we see the unrighteous enjoying wealth. So when you see them coming with the system, and you have to cower out of the system, you have to escape and come out of it, and you see the unrighteous enjoying wealth because they took this number of his name, the number of the beast, yes, and you see them enjoying it. Neither let it grieve your mind that we see the unrighteous enjoying wealth, and the servants of Allah oppressed. Let us then have faith. There he comes with faith again. Emunah. Brothers and sisters, we are contending in the contest of the living Allah, and we are being trained by the life which now is, that we may gain the crown in that which is to come. These verses, these words are so powerful and inspirational. None of the righteous has attained a reward quickly, but waits for it. For if Allah should pay the recompense of the righteous speedily, we should immediately be training ourselves in commerce, business, merchandising, and not in holiness. For we should seem to be righteous when we were pursuing not piety but gain. So at this time, people, we should not be focusing on gain. We should be focusing on piety, on holiness, on righteousness, on right standing, on single-mindedness. For this reason, set apart judgment punishes a ruach, which is not righteous, and loads it with chains. To the only invisible Allah, the Father of truth, who sent forth to us the Savior and Prince of immortality, through whom he also made manifest to us the truth, and the life of Shamayim. To him be the splendor forever and ever. So let it be. Bam! What a beautiful collection of words that they tell us we must not read. Wow. So beautiful. But that's not where we conclude. Here's where we conclude. Hamashiach. Because we've used so many other books, people might be saying, oh, you're using those books. Let's go back to the Bible. Let's go back to the Bible. Boy, these words, really inspirational, I'm telling you. Matthew 6 verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in Shamayim, single-mindedness, single-mindedly focused on the kingdom, on Shamayim, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So that is single-mindedness. Wherever you value. So if you are focused on the kingdom, your heart will be on the kingdom. If your heart is on this world, succeeding and being, rich in this world, comfortable in this world, and everything in this world, if your heart is up, that is where your heart is going to be. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. That is where it speaks about double-mindedness and single-mindedness. The light of the body is the eye. Uses the eye, for example. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. If you are single-minded, then you shall be full of light. You will be walking in righteousness. But if thine eye be evil, if you are double-minded, if your eye is not single, if you are not single-minded, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. You will be in darkness. That is why double-minded people cannot gain the kingdom. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? No man can serve two masters. Double and single-mindedness. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve Alua and Mammon. You cannot be double-minded. You cannot be looking after this world and the things of this world and serve Yahuwah. You cannot. Come out of her, my people. Yada Yahuwah. All praises to the Most High. Give thanks and praise to the Most High. Give thanks and praise to the Most High. I love teachings like these that bring out righteousness and hope and shows us our errors and shows us how we can change. All right? That's it. Are there any questions on YouTube? Let me go to find out. All right. Shalom, shalom to you on YouTube. It might take a time for it to come up. In the meantime, please like if you like. Please like if you like. Please leave a comment on the video as well to help the algorithm. And please share the video. And please do remember in the meantime, our second channel. Word Shorts, our short videos channel.
The body of Yahushua HaMashiach. Satan is going to come, and this is the page is taking some time to Messiah. It's equivalent to
what is this doing
the Most High.
The page is taking some time to come up.
Anti-Messiah. This is what is happening.
Let me go in the
earth.
Zoom. Are there any
I
questions
want us to understand
on the
something.
Zoom?
When the anti-Messiah
So
comes,
I'll wait until, I don't know why the YouTube is taking so long to
when the anti-Messiah comes, he is going to set up himself to
man,
be
it's barely just come up. 61 watching.
like
That
the
is
Most
so
High,
great. I
to
give
be
thanks
worship
unto the
What
Most
is
High.
happening, and let me
For
just
that.
declare this.
67 watching.
What is happening
that
today
is
in this Yahusha is
record.
Yahuwah. It is the anti-Messiah spirit
No,
that is
I'm
preparing
hoping
people
to see
for
the
when a man comes
thing come
and
up in
say,
the side.
he
If there
is
are
the
any
Most High.
questions, please post
Everybody's
them
going to
in
believe
the
him.
YouTube
Because we already
chat.
believe
Please,
Yahusha is
please,
Yahuwah.
please.
He is going to declare,
meantime, let me
I
go to
am
the Zoom
Yahusha. I am
to see
Yahuwah. And people are
if there are
to
any
believe him.
questions
But
or
those
comments
who truly
there.
know the true Messiah are not
Where
going
is
to
this
be
chat?
deceived. Let's go to the book of the Ascension of Isaiah,
Oh, from
this
way
book
about.
tells us
Oh,
very
catfish as
plainly
well. You're speaking
about
the
the anti-Messiah
food.
spirit. The ascension of Isaiah chapter 4,
Double-mindedness is
and we are
doubting the
chapter
bit.
7, to show you
That's
this
a part
nature,
of it.
to show you what they are
Doubting
preparing us for by teaching us
the Most
this
High. When you doubt the Most High, it leads you to do all sorts of.
And now Hezekiah and Yosab, my son, these are the days of the completion of the world.
75 watching.
After it is consummated, Belial, the great ruler, the king of this world, will descend.
Man, that's
who
a
hath ruled it
record.
since it came into being.
All praises to the Most High.
He will descend from his firmament in the likeness
that the
of
side chat will come up on YouTube. This has been a problem.
A lawless
in the weeks.
king,
it takes a long
the slayer
time
of his
to come
mother,
up.
Who himself, even this king, will persecute the plant which the 12 apostles of the beloved have planted.
So in the meantime,
of the 12, one will be delivered into his hand.
So yes, this double-minded thing
ruler,
is very,
in the form of that king,
serious.
Will come, and there will come with him all the powers of this world. And they will hearken unto him in all that he desires. So the anti-Messiah will have all world. It would be equivalent to like when Yahushua said, all power has been given me. So the Most High, in order to evaluate us, in order to divide us, to see who will overcome from who will not overcome, will give this being
that is why I
this
left that
power
cult. I wonder
over
what
the
cult
earth.
was that. I wonder if Christianity.
All right? And at his word, the sun will rise at night,
to dissembling
and he
in
will
the
make the
assembly.
moon to appear
Galatians
at the
5:5
6th hour.
states what can take place.
These are also for those who are in religion who love miracles. All they talk about are miracles, miracles. Oh, great miracles and powers were done in Jesus' name and all of this. These are all the deceptions. All of those miracles that you see, many of those miracles that you see, it is preparing us for the anti-Messiah.
But if ye bite and devour one another, and take heed that ye be not consumed one of another.
He will do in the world.
All right, that is double-mindedness in the assembly causes us
and
to
he will
bite
say,
one another.
I am Alua, and before me there has been none. This is it. He will come and do all of those miracles and say, I am Yahuwah.
All right.
This is what Yahusha is Yahuwah is preparing us for.
Oh, this is what I like to hear. One of our brothers here said, thank you, brother.
We are just going
that
to accept
is exactly what I've been struggling with this whole time.
And when he declares that he is Yahuwah,
means I have accomplished what I want to accomplish.
Believe him.
At least one person.
No being can come, a man, and speak to me and say he
they were in double-mindedness.
Alua.
Because this stops us people
did not say it.
doing
he said,
what
I
we
am
are
the son
to do.
of Alua.
This stops us from doing any
and he says he worships Alua.
All
so when someone comes down and say, a man comes and say, I am Alua, how can I believe him? But those who have the spirit
keeping
of the
rank is staying in
those
order
who believe
or uniform with the other soldiers.
Will be deceived.
Everyone doing their part and moving as a system.
Verse 7.
That's it.
And all the people in the world will believe in him.
We are double-minded. If you have a double heart, we cannot keep
because
rank. That is why when believers come together and there are double-minded people among them, there cannot be order. There cannot be uniformity. There cannot be one heart and one mind.
That Messiah,
everybody will not
Yahuwah,
do their part in moving as a system. People will be there pulling down
so they will
the
believe in him,
system.
and then you have a rising tide now of Hebrews, of our people, who are now grabbing on, latching on to Yahuwah is Yahusha. Yeah, when you see them commenting, they're so passionate about it. Some of them, even in their profiles, you see Yahuwah is Yahusha. Why is it so important for you to say Yahuwah is Yahusha if it is not a spirit that is leading you? Look at all the things that you could put in your profile in the entire world. All the things that you could bring to people and put to people and bring to people's understanding. Why is it that Yahuwah is Yahusha is paramount, is number one
I'm ready for the truth,
of your concern? What do we get for saying Yahuwah is Yahusha?
That's nice.
Hey,
double-minded,
that's the spirit of anti-Messiah. Of course, you can download this book, The Ascension of Isaiah, from our website, justtheword.org/download.
When I get these calls.
Or you can just go to justtheword.org, click on the menu, and you can get it. Now, warning against anti-Messiah. Let's go to the Bible now, because many of you will see that in the book of The Ascension of Isaiah and say, oh, I don't follow those books.
All right, I choose the kingdom.
Okay, I follow them because those books fill in the dots. Those books give us the pieces of the puzzles that are missing.
So many people left good positions over those evil
mandates. Shut up the books until the end. At the end, the books are now being opened. And those are the books that take away all of the uncertainties. But let's go to the book of 1 John 2, you go 18 to 27, the warning against
Yeah, this is a
anti-Messiah.
great
I
lesson.
only
I will
hope when you see
definitely need to
this,
replay it
you will get
again.
an
This is one of those
understanding of
teachings
where
that you
John
need
is
to
coming
watch
from.
again.
1 John 2, verse
You
18.
have another class playing in the
Little
background.
children,
Oh.
it is the last time, and as you have heard that anti-Mashiach, anti-Messiah shall come.
Have you ever considered
Even
that the
now,
Holy Spirit is our
are
mother?
there many
I won't go there now.
anti-messiahs,
That's not no
whereby
time for
ye
this
know
right now.
that it
I
is the
don't
last
know
time.
what that has to do with
So from John's
us,
days, it says it's the last time.
double-mindedness at
Hey,
all. I
what
don't
about
want to be
now?
taken off
They
at this
went
point.
out from us, but they were not of us. For if they had
Good
been
and
of us,
dedicated teaching
they
and teacher.
would
This
no
is how
doubt
I
have
start.
continued with us. But they went out
When a
that
Sabbath
they might
start,
be made
the
manifest
class
that
start,
they are
I am
not
in the
all
spirit and
of us.
people always distract me.
But ye have an unction from the Holy One, and ye know all things. I have not written unto you because you
It
know
is
not
good
the
to
truth,
cornrow my
but
natural
because you
here.
know it, and that no lie is of the truth. Who is a liar? But he that
What is
denieth
it playing in the
that
background?
Yahusha is
Man.
a Mashiach.
Oh, I see it. I
He
hear
is
it.
anti-Messiah that denieth the Father and the Son. I
What
wonder if
is
you
this?
realize
Let
what
me get
this
rid of
is
this
saying.
page. It should be gone by this. Yeah, Bernie, something I playing in the background. Hello? I stopped it, so it should be off. Yeah. All right. Sorry about that. There was something else playing in the background. Why are we hearing a double? Yeah. Was there an earlier reference to James 3:13 to 18? I don't think so. James 3:13 to 18. Who is a wise man and endued with knowledge? Let me get the Bible here. Yeah. Who is a wise man and endued with knowledge among you? Let him show out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom. But if ye have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, exalt not, and lie not against the truth. This wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthly, sensual, devilish. For where envying and strife is, there is confusion and every evil work. But the wisdom that is from above is pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and full and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. And the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace of them that make peace. Yada Yahuwah. All right. I'm sorry about that. The video should be finished by this. All right, fix, yes. All right. Hey, Shabbat Shalom. So, Shalom to all the people who are here. Someone says there's a random echoing. I don't know if it's on Zoom. Sometimes your microphone may be off. All right. Sorry about the difficulties, but yeah. All right, so we finished talking with that. Anything else on YouTube? This thing about the Rock HaKadosh being our mother now. I don't know about that. Because the mother thing, let me tell you about this mother thing. You have the father and you have his Ruach as a helper. I think that is the closest that I would say to this mother. Because understand, let me get My mug. Oh, it's there. The nations of the world, they worship the Queen of Heaven. The Queen of Heaven. So they are putting a woman up there with the Most High. And they make the Queen of Heaven to be Mary. So in their Trinity you have the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is that feminine mother. Now, right off the bat, that doesn't go well with my Ruach because that is too close to how the nations worship their gods. And the Most High said, don't even ask how the nations worship their gods, that you might do the same with him. Yeah? So, Ruach HaKadosh is the Most High's helper. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Alua, and the Word was Alua. So Alua had that Ruach with him in the beginning, and that was the helper. And when Yahuwah said, let there be light, the Ruach acted, and there was light. Yes? But as to say that this is a mother, no. Unless I'm missing something. And if I'm missing something, I'll come back and say it another time. But no. That's the Queen of Heaven worship. That is the worship of Easter, Eastrat, Asherah, Diana of Ephesus, Mary, Mother of God. Those are all of those worship when you think about it. Because the fact that the Ruach is a helper, that is as feminine as you get. It's not a mother, it is a helper because the Most High gave, yes, Semiramis as well, yes. The Most High gave Eve to Adam as a helper. Yes? That's as far as I would go. But mother, no. Most High didn't tell us about any mother. Okay? Spirit of Semiramis, yeah. Alright, so I guess there are no more questions on YouTube. So I guess we'll take our leave. Again, reminding you of our short videos channel. Every person who comes through this teaching, any teaching on our channel must know just the word shorts. Our short videos channel. Just the word shorts. Man, it is wrong. Let me copy this. I need to get rid of this. It's not coming off. Or remove. All right, remove. And let me put the right message. Let me put the right link. youtube.com. This is our short videos channel. Man, this thing is messing up. Just search YouTube for just the word shorts. This thing's not working at all. Search YouTube for just the word shorts. Yeah, that's our short videos channel. Have you thought about having Zoom live and we can talk with you? We do have Zoom live, but we have Zoom live for our group here. Yeah. We have a Zoom live for our group, in which when we, at the beginning we put it in the community. If you go to community, you can see the link. That's the link where we are. Yeah. Anyway, it's time to go. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here with us. Thank you all for supporting us. Please watch Just the Word Shorts and share the videos. Please let the word of truth go out. All right. Thank you. And shalom.